What's the contrary of to read to oneself? What's the contrary of to read to oneself? The contrary
The
of
contrary
to read
of to
to
live
oneself
to
is
oneself
to read
is
aloud.
to read aloud.
Very good. If a small spot of coffee fell on your clothes at work, how could you clean it off? If a small spot of coffee fell on your clothes at work, how could you clean it off? If a small
If a
spot
small
of
spot
coffee
of
fell
coffee
on my
fell
clothes
on my clothes
at work,
at work,
I could clean
I
it
could
off
clean it off
by
by wiping with wet towel.
very good. What kind of spot do you prefer for a picnic? What kind of spot do you prefer for a picnic? I prefer
I
a
prefer
quiet
a
spot
quiet
by the
spot
sea
by the sea
for a picnic.
or a picnic.
Where do you always try to do your best in everything you do? Do you always try to do your best in everything you do? Yes or no?
Yes,
I always
I
try
always
to
try
do my
to
best
do my
in
best
everything
in
I do.
everything I do.
Very good. If you face south and could look at the horizon from where you're sitting now, which village, town, city, or country would you just beyond the horizon? If you face south and could look at the horizon from where you're sitting now, which village, town, city, or country would you be just beyond the horizon? If I
If
face
I
south
play stars
and could look
and could
at
look
the
at
horizon
the
from
horizon
where
from
I'm
where
sitting
I'm
now,
sitting now,
what city
Mount Alayama
would be just
would be just
beyond the horizon?
beyond the horizon.
Very good. Has anything ever happened to you which has been beyond your wildest dreams? That is, beyond your most fantastic expectations. Has anything ever happened to you which has been beyond your wildest dreams? That is, beyond your most fantastic expectations? Yes or no?
Yes,
Something
something
has happened to
has
me
happened to me
which has been
which has been
beyond my
beyond
wildest
my
dreams.
wildest dream,
That is,
that
beyond
is beyond
my most
my most
fantastic
fantastic
expectations.
expectation.
Very good. What's
Going to Australia.
very good. Who would you say was beyond doubt the greatest person alive today? Who would you say was beyond doubt the greatest person alive today? I say that
I say that Mr. B is
is the greatest
the
person
greatest person
alive today.
alive today.
Very good. Okay. What do we mean by coarse cloth? What do we mean by coarse cloth? By coarse
By a
cloth,
clothes,
we mean
we
cloth
mean
that
clothes
feels rough.
that feels rough.
Very good. What do we mean by a coarse person? What do we mean by a coarse person? By a
By
coarse
a clothes
person, we
person,
mean
we mean
somebody who
somebody
has poor
who has
manners
poor manners
and
and
behaves in a
behaves
way
in a
that
way
might offend
that might
some
offend
people.
some people.
Very good. When you're on a train, how can you tell when it's approaching a station? When you're on a train, how can you tell when it's approaching a station? When you're
When
on a
you are
train,
on train,
you can
you
tell
can
when
tell
it's
when it's
approaching a
approaching
station
a station
because the
because
train
the train
begins to slow
begins
down.
to slow down.
Very good. Okay. Can the quality of a person's sleep be affected by how firm the mattress on their bed is? Can the quality of a person's sleep be affected by how firm the mattress on their bed is? Yes.
Yes,
The quality
the
of a
quality
person's
of a
sleep
person's sleep
can be
can
affected
be
by
affected
how
by
firm
how
the
far the
mattress on their
mattress
bed
on
is.
the bed is.
Very good. Do you have a firm idea of what you want to do in life? Do you have a firm idea of what you want to do in life? Yes or no?
Yes,
I have a
I
firm
have
idea
a firm
of
idea
what I
of
want to
what
do
I want to do
in life.
in life.
Which is the biggest firm in your hometown? Which is the biggest firm in your hometown? The biggest
The
firm
biggest
in my
farm in my
hometown is
hometown is Company A.
very good. Do you think you need to be smart to run a successful business? Do you think you need to be smart to run a successful business? Yes or no?
No,
I don't think
I don't
I
think
need to be
I
smart
need to be
to
smart
run a
to
successful
run a
business.
successful business.
Where do some restaurants only allow people to enter if they're wearing smart clothes? Do some restaurants only allow people to enter if they're wearing smart clothes? Yes,
Yes,
some
some
restaurants
restaurants
only allow
only
people
allow
to
people
enter
to
if they're
enter if
wearing
they're wearing
smart clothes.
smart clothes.
Where good? Where does meat rot more quickly, in the heat or in the cold? Where does meat rot more quickly, in the heat or in the cold? Meat rots
Meat
more
rots
quickly
more quickly
in the heat.
in the heat.
Do rotten vegetables smell horrible? Do rotten vegetables smell horrible? Yes.
Yes,
Rotten vegetables
rotten vegetables
smells horrible.
smells horrible.
Very good. Okay. Do you prefer to sleep under a sheet and blanket or do you prefer to use a duvet? Do you prefer to sleep under a sheet and blanket or do you prefer to use a duvet? I prefer
I
to
prefer to under duvet.
I prefer
I prefer
to use a
to
duvet
use a duvet
than to sleep
than to sleep
under a sheet
under
and
the
blanket.
sheet and blanket.
Ragged, which is normally thinner, a sheet of paper or a sheet of steel? Which is normally thinner, a sheet of paper or a sheet of steel? A sheet of
A sheet
paper
of
is
paper
normally
is
thinner
normally
than
thinner
a sheet of
than a
steel.
sheet of steel.
Very good. Okay, next. At what time of day are the rays of the sun at their hottest at this time of year? At what time of the day are the rays of the sun at their hottest at this time of year? The rays
And
of the
the rays
sun
of the sun
are at their
are at
hottest
their hottest
at
at 2 p.m.
this time
at
of
this
year.
time of the year.
Very good. If a friend of yours had a fever, what would you advise them to do? If a friend of yours had a fever, what would you advise them to do? If a friend
If
of
a
mine
friend of mine
had a fever,
have a fever,
I'd advise
I'd
them to.
advise them to take medicine.
Very good. Is it possible to go skiing in your country? Is it possible to go skiing in your country? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's
it's
possible to
possible
go
to go
skiing in
skiing
my
in my
country.
country.
Very good. What's your favorite sauce? What's your favorite sauce? My
My
favorite
favorite
sauce
sauce
is
is okonomiyaki sauce.
very good. Do women wear veils when they get married in your country? Do women wear veils when they get married in your country? Yes or no?
Yes,
Women wear
women
veils
wear
when
veils
they get
when they
married
get
in my
married in
country.
my country.
Very good. Uh would you give in without a fight if the thief tried to mug you on the street? Would you give in without a fight if a thief tried to mug you on the street? Yes or no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
give in
wouldn't give in
without a fight
without a fight
if a thief
if a
tried to
thief
mug
tried
me
to mug
on the
me
street.
on the street
Why? Why? Because?
because it's dangerous.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Okay, so let's start the first word. Okay, repeat stretch.
Stretch.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word stretch is a verb. The basic meaning of the word stretch is extend. For example, okay, let's practice. What's the basic meaning of the word stretch? What's the basic meaning of the word stretch? The basic
The
meaning
basic
of
meaning
the word
of the
stretch
word stretch
is
is
extend.
extend.
Where do you stretch when you get out of bed in the morning? Do you stretch when you get out of bed in the morning? Yes or no? I
Yes,
stretch
I
when
stretch
I get
when I
out of
get
bed
out
in
of
the
bed
morning.
in the morning.
If someone borrowed a pullover of yours that was too small for them and they stretch it, would you be annoyed? If someone borrowed a pullover of yours that was too small for them and they stretch it, would you be annoyed? Yes or no?
Yes,
If someone
if
borrowed
someone
a
borrow
pullover
a
of
pullover
mine
of mine
that was too
that
small
was
for them
too small for
and
them
they stretch it,
and they stretch it,
I'd be annoyed.
I'd be annoyed.
How far does the road outside your building stretch? How far does the road outside your building stretch? The road
The road
outside my building
outside my building
stretches as
stretches
far as
as far as
next town, 2
2 kilometers.
kilometers. Very good. Okay, next repeat. Earnest.
Honest.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word earnest is an adjective. When we say an earnest person, it is someone who is serious and sincere. For example, my uncle is an earnest person. Let's practice. What do we mean by an earnest person? What do we mean by an earnest person? By an earnest
By an
person,
honest
we
person,
mean
we
someone
mean
who's
someone
serious
who's
and
serious
sincere.
and sincere,
Very good. Next, repeat run short of.
long short of.
Very good. Okay, listen. The idiom to run short of means to begin to run out of something. For example, my cousin and I went to the supermarket to do the shopping. We are already running short of supply. Let's practice. What do you do when you run short of money? What do you do when you run short of money? When I
When
run
I
short of
run
money,
short of money,
I
I pay by cash,
Pay
pay by credit card.
pay by credit card. Very good. Okay, next repeat. All together.
All together.
Very good. All together. Very good. Okay, listen. All together is an adverb. It means with all things included. For example, taking things all together, I think Australia is a good place to live in. Another meaning of the word altogether is entirely or completely. For example, I think the movie Frozen was altogether great. Okay, let's practice. Taking things all together, do you think your town is a good place to live? Taking things all together, do you think your town is a good place to live? Yes or no?
Yes.
Taking things
Taking
all
things
together,
all
I
together.
think my
I
town
think my
is a
town
good
is
place
a
to
good
live.
place to live.
Very good. Can you think of a film that you've seen that was altogether terrible? Can you think of a film that you've seen that was altogether terrible? Yes or no?
Yes.
I can
I can
think of a
think
film
of a film
that I've
that
seen
I've
that
seen
was
that was
altogether
altogether
terrible.
terrible.
Which and why? Which and why?
Um,
Which
Film
film?
A
Like film A. Very good. Because it was boring.
because it was boring.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Model.
Model
Representation.
representation.
Very good. Okay, listen. Representation is a noun. It is something such as a picture, symbol, or person that stands for something else. Model is a noun. It means a small copy of a thing. For example, by a model airplane, we mean a small representation of a real airplane. Another meaning of model is a person who is paid to wear clothing, jewelry, etc. For example, Tyra Banks is one of the top fashion models who earns a lot of money. And another meaning of model is someone is a very good example to other people. For example, the leader of a country should have good manners. He should be intelligent and should set a good example to other people. A leader should be a good model to the people. That's okay. Model can also mean a design of an item. For example, Toyota has just released its new model last year. Let's practice. What do we mean by a model airplane? What do we mean by a model airplane? By a model
By a
airplane,
model
we
airplane,
mean a
we mean
small
a small
representation of
representation
a real
of
airplane.
a real airplane.
Do top fashion models earn a lot of money? Do top fashion models earn a lot of money? Yes.
Yes,
Top fashion
top
models
fashion
earn
models
a lot of
are
money.
a lot of money.
How often do car companies change their models? How often do car companies change their models? Car companies
Cloud
change
companies
their
change
models
their models
about once
about once
every
every
like 5 years.
5 years.
Were you a model student when you were at school? Were you a model student when you were at school? Yes or no?
No,
I wasn't
I
a
wasn't
model
a
student
model
when
student
I was at
when I
school.
was at school.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading. Okay, so our reading is at stage 9, paragraph page 708. And our last headword was attack. Okay, please start with headword scarcely, scare.
Scarcely skill. What's another word for hardly? Another word for hardly is scarcely. Give me an example, please.